going to show you now is how to steer the car. Now everything's all about safety, so naturally you will be very good at crossing your arms when it comes to turning the steering wheel. What you won't naturally be able to do is feed the steering wheel. Now a lot of people say, oh, I just have to do this just to pass my test. It's not just about passing your test, it's about driving the car safely. And sometimes you can get your hands in an awkward position, you can make things actually quite dangerous. So what we're going to do, we're just going to have to drive around, we're going to show you how to turn the steering wheel. Now eventually it becomes very natural, you don't have to think about it. To begin with, you just have to take your time, get the car moving slowly, find a nice car park that's nice and big and quiet, and just slowly practice going around the car park, just slowly turning the steering wheel. So we're going to move off and just show you how to turn the steering wheel just with little tiny turns. And sometimes you might have to do a slightly bigger turn. Now the key thing is divide the steering wheel into two halves. You have the left hand side of the steering wheel and the right hand side of the steering wheel. Your left hand must stay on the left hand side, your right hand must stay on the right hand side. Your hands are positioned either at the 1/4-3 position or 10-2. And ideally with your hands like this, you can see the dashboard, you can see what's in front of you, and you're not going to get your arms all twisted. And when you're first practicing this, just drive the car very slowly. That gives you a little bit of time to think about what you're doing. And just have a look ahead. Try not to look at the steering wheel, just have a look ahead where you're going, and you can judge how much to turn the steering wheel. You don't have to constantly keep turning it around. Just have a look at where you're going, and then you'll judge how much you need to turn. If you're looking ahead, it's just little turns. Just move your hands very slowly. So now we're going to turn to the right. So have a look in the car park where you're going. Just position your hands in the right place. Just feed the steering wheel through your hand. It's called push-pull. You push it with one hand, you pull it with the other. Like I said, if you try to think about it, it does become quite complicated. The key thing is take it nice and slow, give yourself a little bit of time to think about it, and it will start to become natural. Now if you're driving along and you are staring at the steering wheel and you're not really thinking about what you're doing, you risk what's called either oversteering or understeering. So understeering is where you don't turn the steering wheel enough, oversteering is when you turn it too much. And then what happens then is that to correct yourself, you'll then end up panicking and crossing your arms. So having a look at where you're going. Now understeering is when you don't turn the steering wheel enough. And then you're heading towards the curb, then you're panicking, and then you'll end up crossing your arms. And the trouble is when you're crossing your arms, your hands aren't safely on the steering wheel. If unfortunately you hit something with your arms crossed, the airbag goes off, you end up smashing your hands into your face. Now it's okay doing a little bit of crossing your arms because sometimes that might be the safest thing to do. And on your test, you won't fail your test if you cross your arms, as long as you don't do it all the time and you've got full control of the car. So as we go around here, we're going to oversteer, so we're going to turn the steering wheel too much. The wheels are turned too much to the left and then end up crossing your arms. The key thing is look at where you're going, take it nice and slow, and just get a feel for what you're doing. It doesn't take long to get good at doing this. Now as you're turning around, you must feed the steering wheel to where you're going, and you must feed the steering wheel back to straighten the wheels up. What you mustn't do is try not to let the steering wheel slide through your hands. You can do just a little bit as long as you're in full control of the car, but if you're going a little bit too fast and you let go of the steering wheel, you don't know which direction the car's going to go. You need to be in control of the steering. Now most modern cars nowadays have power steering, and what this allows you to do is turn the steering wheel nice and freely. And as you start to get a bit more confident, you start to go a little bit faster, and your brain catches on quite quickly as to how much to turn the steering wheel.